All right, all right. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Long time no see. I think it's been like 2 weeks or something, but it's all good. I'm back at you. I had an amazing holiday. I am super excited for y'all to join me this evening. I've been getting a little bit of a word from some of my clients this week, and it's been heavy on my heart, and I want to share a little bit about it. But for those of you who do not know me, my name is Shahara, and I am a public speaking coach and trainer, and I help people, professionals, entrepreneurs speak with more confidence, credibility, and clarity. And more than anything, I am really moving into a space with helping people uncover the je ne sais quoi of themselves, the charisma, the charm, the X factor, the essence, the presence, all of that. So if you're with me, go ahead and announce yourself. Say hey, let me know where you are watching from, what part of the world are you. Let me know your name. Talk to me is what I'm saying. Just talk to me. Come and talk to me. Okay, that's all I have for that. But today, I'm just going to get straight into it, okay? I am not going to be here forever. But in my line of work, I do corporate trainings. And I work with executives, and I work with mid-level managers. I work with, employee base. And then I also have an online group coaching program. So I work with individuals, entrepreneurs, and they're all, though, looking to improve their public speaking skills in some form or fashion. And one thing that tends to come up, not just with their public speaking, but with even the things that they do. Right? Whether you're an accountant, whether you're a new entrepreneur, whether you're growing your business, whether you are doing hair, or I don't have any clients that do hair, but I'm open to you. Just saying, holla at me. But the point is, at some point in people's career professionally, they suffer from imposter syndrome. Is that you? Do you suffer from imposter syndrome? Cue all the side effects, right? Just like one of those, pharmaceutical drug commercials. So I really am looking at this thing called imposter syndrome, and I'm seeing how it's negatively affecting people's performance and how they show up for themselves, right? These people who suffer from imposter syndrome, most times actually do a really good job at what they do. And they show up and they're stars. And sometimes they get promoted. Sometimes they get asked to be a lead. Sometimes they're invited to a panel. Sometimes their product is just flying off the shelves. Sometimes they're recognized in different publications, right? They're winning, but for some reason, there's still a bit of them that feels like they're an imposter, like they kind of don't deserve it, or maybe I'm not experienced enough, or maybe I haven't had enough work in it enough, or maybe I haven't worked for the company long enough, or maybe I haven't been in business long enough, or whatever it may be. Like, we're dealing with the idea of imposter syndrome. And it's, like I said, negatively affecting not only just the way you show up at work, but kind of how you see yourself and how you feel walking into a space. And imposter syndrome is perhaps one of the biggest things that's stopping people from attaining the one thing that they say that they want all of the time when it comes to public speaking. When it comes to talking to their peers and talking to superiors and talking to customers and clients, everybody says, I need help with my public speaking. I say, why? How? What? What's going on? They say, I want to feel more confident. And I'm like, oh, okay. You want to feel more confident. Great. You want to be more comfortable when you speak. But I don't believe that speaking confidently and dealing with, I would say, symptoms of imposter syndrome can happen simultaneously. Because even if you're showing up as a great speaker, even if you're effective, even if people are inviting you to speak on panels and to show up at conferences and to lead meetings, like even if you're doing that and actually doing, a pretty good job at it, you're not going to feel like you're doing the best at it because you're suffering from imposter syndrome. If you're suffering from imposter syndrome, I just want you to put it in the chat. Just go ahead and say it. You know what, Shahar? I have my moments. I have my moments too. But they are short-lived, okay? They are super short-lived. In fact, I saw a meme that I can't remember the first part of it, but the audacity of 2020, or the audacity of, the average white male, right? And just showing up for stuff. So now I've even put myself in positions where I'm like, you know what? I may not be qualified. I may not have all the experiences Joe and Jim. I may not, but I know I can do it. I know that I can do it. So I sometimes I feel like I do that just to combat any potential imposter syndrome that may show up for myself. But for those of you who are like, I don't know if I really have it, most times imposter syndrome shows up in a way of where you're doubting your skill, you're doubting your talent, you're doubting you're doubting your skill, you're doubting your talent, you're doubting, what you're capable of, and I think that's typically how it shows up. Or you're doubting your experience, you're doubting your expertise, you're doubting your credibility, right? Sometimes with imposter syndrome, you just don't feel adequate. Like, I'm good, but I'm not good enough. Or I've done some work in it, but I haven't done enough. So you're feeling inadequate, basically. But the big one that I think a lot of people feel is like you're a fraud. Does anybody feel like they're a fraud? Anybody? Bueller? And you can't tell me that you don't feel like you're a fraud, like you don't believe that you're a fraud. You can't tell me that if you're experiencing or if you're having symptoms of imposter syndrome. You can't be telling me that, because if you truly didn't believe that you weren't a fraud, then you wouldn't be dealing with imposter syndrome, right? It can kind of feel a little confusing, but the main thing behind all of this is you want to show up and you want to feel credible when you speak. You want to have those mic drop worthy moments. You want to feel confident. It's not necessarily going to come from the eye contact, the body language, and, like doing all the right things that a lot of, people say that you're supposed to do in public speaking. The thing about imposter syndrome is it's got to deal with this and this. Your heart, your head and your heart. And more than anything, your connection to self, your self-worth. People talk about confidence all the time, but they don't always know that confidence is directly connected with how you really feel about yourself. How much you truly believe that you deserve, that you are worthy, that you are capable, that you have everything you need to succeed, that you kind of can't fail, that you can't fail. If you're dealing with imposter syndrome, then it is a sign that there is some inadequacy within you. You are deficient of some self-belief, that you are feeling like you're missing something. So if you feel like you're missing something, if you feel like you're inadequate, if you feel like you're a fraud, if you feel like you don't have enough experience, if you feel like you're these things, then in order to be a better speaker, in order to show up with the space of confidence that you say that you want, then you really have to deal with the insecurities. You have to deal with the doubt. You have to deal with the uncertainty. What type of questions are you really asking yourself? Don't ask yourself, where can I find a public speaking coach? Ask yourself, why I feel less than. Ask yourself why you believe your accomplishments aren't enough. Ask yourself why you believe your experience doesn't add to you being worthy or deserving of that promotion or that new project or that team lead or running a business or dominating in your lane. Imposter syndrome will continue until you really take a deep dive into what's causing you to feel like a fraud, what's causing you to feel like you're an imposter. And it's more than just talking about it. It's more than just, let me get up and practice in the mirror. I did a video about that to improve your public speaking skills. But the best speakers, great connectors, great communicators, they're the ones that you just feel a vibe. You feel an energy. You feel a spirit. But it's because they've done the internal work. And I'm not trying to get all foofy on you, but are you journaling? Are you in therapy? Are you running from your insecurities? Or are you letting your ego drive how you move forward? Are you taking a couple bites of humble pie from time to time to reckon with the voices in the head that are telling you that you're inadequate? Are you working? Are you doing the work on self internally? What you see on the outside as a great public speaker is only because what's on the inside is good. And there are some people who can fake it. There are some people who are great speakers and they are in turmoil on the inside. But you don't want to be that speaker. I'm just going to tell you right now, because that's exhausting and that's no real way to live. Not whatsoever. So if you're dealing with imposter syndrome, it's not going to help you become a better speaker. And if you are dealing with some symptoms of imposter syndrome, then I highly suggest you just use it as a compass to help guide you to the places that you need to give more attention and love to, where you can create clarity in the spaces of what your self-worth actually is. And once you come as a person in healing, as a person in self-discovery, as a person that's not afraid of uncovering the hard truths of your insecurities, then you'll always fall short of being the great speaker you desire to be. And even if you do get there just through grit and just through grind, you're oftentimes going to walk away from situations and still feel like you could have done more. You're still going to feel like, man, I could have gave more. I could have showed up more. I could have been more memorable. I could have been more intentional. And that's the problem. You're always second guessing yourself, and you're second guessing yourself because you're not doing the internal work. So ask yourself, how am I facing, confronting, revealing, really getting into myself and doing the inner work? That's where it begins. That's where it starts, ladies and gentlemen. I'm just going to put it at that. That's all I have to say. That's all I have to say. But I definitely am looking to work with individuals who want to start that work. In fact, I have a Facebook group. Make sure you go join it. Okay. Follow me on Instagram. Be posting up some stuff there. But definitely join the Facebook group, because I'm going to be adding some gems and really trying to get a conversation going about these hard truths that we need to come face to face with in order for us to come face to face with other people. Because other people, they always say, real, recognize, real. So what are you showing people? And what are you hiding from? That's all I got to say, ladies and gentlemen. Think about it. Think about it. Think about it. That's all I got. You all enjoy the rest of your day, morning, evening, wherever it is. And I'll see you soon.